The Development Initiative for African Women is a non-governmental organization whose main objective is to foster the socio-economic development of women, especially in rural areas.
It's a non-governmental, non-political organization that seeks to empower rural women, the unsung women, in the areas of health, in the area of economy, political education, youth internship, because we also work with the young ones, the youths.
With its international headquarters in Africa's most populous nation, Nigeria, DIFAW has at its core women whose experience in various spheres of life are being distilled and put to use to help other women escape the strong grip of poverty and social backwardness.
The personnel at DIFAW are all very experienced people from various fields. Some of them have been actual politicians, but I oversee the election activities, and I have a wide range of experience from election observation across the world, I would say. I've observed elections in Cape Verde in 2006. I observed the presidential elections. I have observed a number of elections in Nigeria, beginning in fact from 2003, 2007 and this current one. I also observed elections in the US. The first Obama elections, I went under the auspices of the Department of State as an IVLP officer to the US. And I also have done my PhD work on the place of NGOs in creating political space for women. So I have actually studied political participation, and I've also acted political situations. I was chairman of a local government during the Abdulsalam regime. I was chairman of Ajaokuta local government. So we draw from various experiences. Most of the personnel at DIFAW are bureaucrats, people who have worked in the civil service, they've retired, people who are still involved, people who are politicians, core politicians, and all these experiences we are bringing on board to ensure that we are able to empower women.
In Nigeria, which is DIFAW's pilot program country, the challenge of delivering critical development to rural communities has often been described as the major factor responsible for much of the poverty in rural communities. DIFAW addresses this challenge with a unique strategic structure that ensures that every local community across Nigeria can be reached, no matter how remote their location is.
We have membership from the community, that is from the ward, if you want to use that sense, but from the community. We have members up to the state level. And we also encourage our women to have ID cards. You pay a little commitment fee. For us, it is a form to say you're part and parcel of, because DIFAW is owned by every woman, young, old, big, small, as long as you're a woman. The membership fee will allow you to have a card. So every DIFAW member has a DIFAW membership card right from the community. And in the communities, we have community officers, we have local government coordinators, we have zonal reps in the various states, because you know in every state we have 3 senatorial zones. So we have zonal reps and we have the state director. And aside from the state directors, we have some program officers that work with the state director. Because of the areas I had mentioned earlier that we work in the area of health, in the area of agriculture, in the area of SMEs, in the area of youth internship, in the area of political education. So we have 1 program officer, 9 of them that are saddled with the responsibility of each of these activities, each of these programs of DIFAW. So we look at the state and we look at what is obtainable in the state, what can work, what SME can work, what kind of agricultural products work or agriculture works in the state, what kind of what are the health issues of that state. So the program officers work with the state directors in the state and of course, drawing information from the community officers and the local government coordinators.
DIFAW approaches its objective through a set of 9 sector-specific programs, both at the national and local community levels. These programs focus on women and child health, poverty eradication, political and leadership development, media and communication, youth internship, SME enhancement, agriculture, environment, and financial education.
The financial education program, simply put, is teaching our women, the very simple accounting principles, buying and selling. If a woman is in trading, if a woman is a farmer, you understand the principle of how much you put into your farm, have a small notebook for it, and how much you intend you make, purchase and sales. That's basically it. We try to, break it down for the women, because the women we're dealing with really are the rural women. So, and how they can also use the banks. We encourage them to go to a bank, because in most local governments and communities, there are banks that are springing up in those areas. Instead of saving monies under their bed or under their pillowcase, like you saw what happened in some states in the country where the flood, carried away. And of course, it affected the rural people much more. So instead of you working hard, so hard, and your money gets involved in a natural disaster like that, washed away or being stolen by one person or the other in the house, we encourage our women, do your basic accounting principle, very basic, purchase and sales, 2 books, and encourage them to begin to cultivate the habit of banking.
DIFAW envisions a situation where women will be more involved. As you know, all over the world, women are about half the population of the world. So DIFAW is looking at some form of aggregate representation, some form of 50-50 chance. However, in Nigeria, we talk about 35% affirmative action. We like to see the local governments and the state governments move up in being inclusive in terms of women's participation.
DIFAW both advocates for health causes and collaborates with health-specific NGOs to reach women with vital health information and services.
They look at the woman in totality and they reach out to the rural area. So that was why we partner with them to be able to reach out to more women. And the DIFAW, they are all over in Nigeria, everywhere in the nooks and crannies. So we now want to look at that woman as a holistic person that is having a lump in the breast, but with other health issues, numerous health issues. So that is why we partner with the DIFAW, so that we'll be able to benefit from their vast experience and the areas they cover. We'll be able to not only taking the pap smear now to look at the environment of the woman, how is she feeding, how clean she is, cholera outbreak, malaria, they can even claim more life at an instance than the cancer we are fighting for. So we now want to look at the woman as a complete package.
DIFAW's agriculture program has recorded remarkable success in the effort to galvanize rural women farmers and provide crucial incentives as a way of encouraging productivity. These incentives come in form of access to funding and exposure to larger markets for their products.
We also have a huge interest in agriculture, because we understand that there are states in this country where basically their staple activity is agriculture, especially women. And we participated because it's an agricultural fair that happens every year. It's done by the National Foundation of Nigeria in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development. And we felt that that agricultural show will give us a platform to showcase our women and the things they do. And thank God, it was our first time into the fair, and by God's grace, we came out the first position under the women category.
I'm a full member of DIFAW, and my interest in is in the packaging. In other words, packaging of African produce, processed by women to enhance the quality of what they have done and make it sellable outside Nigeria. So we have a packaging system. We know what the Food and Drug of United States of America, of United Kingdom and Ireland, what is required. So what we do is to add value to what our women produce, and that's why we're here today to see what we can do to better promote the efforts of the rural women.
You can see in DIFAW, the platform I'm here now, the rural community, the women from Gombe State, from Taraba State, are out, other states, are on their way, are out to really showcase what the rural, the grassroots woman can do. She has a lot of initiative, and as I said, DIFAW embarks on, instilling skills and empowering the women with knowledge, so that a community at a time will be touched, that the women can now source some things to really live for themselves, to fend for themselves and to ensure that they also impact the household. So we have from these two states, you can see from the fair, ranging from the moringa, the popularly known moringa, of which the women in Taraba have gone, a milestone, another step to ensure that they squeeze out, they press out the oil from it, having known what moringa is and what it does. So we've gone, I think we're among those in the forefront in the country, that the rural women have ventured to make sure that they bring out the best from that plant, which is called the miracle plant.
And here on this ground, we came with a lot of things the women made from their various communities, from the various all over the state. We have from the northern part of the state comes this beautiful decorated calabash. You can see it is used for decoration and is used for storage, and we use it here. And here we also have the brooms to keep our environment and our place neat. The women have that. And then we have the stool, the local stool made from a tree trunk, which the northern part of Gombe State woman made. And then we have the foot warmer here. This is used to warm the food for the husband when he's out in the farm. So we have a lot of things from the northern part, and then we also have from the southern part of Gombe State. We came with this beautiful, sweet and fashionable bag. This is so beautiful and fashionable. And funny is made of from this.
This also dovetails into the environment program, where women are encouraged to both produce and utilize environment-friendly options for existing products.
In our waste-to-wear products, we have, like I showed you, these bags, simply made. I was so amazed and fascinated when I saw this woman making it. She's not, if you know the crochet that we used to make knit before, you know what they use as their crochet? From lemon tree, they cut the bark, cut it into shape like crochet, and use this waterproof, cut it into long lines and begin to make the bags. These are some of the bags. This one is a very good shopping bag. This one is also another handbag, another handbag. So for us, what people see, for DIFAW, what people see as waste, for us is wealth. And at no much high training, little cost, we're bridging the gap of unemployment. We're also producing women and youth entrepreneurs. This is the corn husks. Corn grows in and out of the year. What these women do is during the time of harvesting of the corn, they just, while you're pulling the husk out of the corn, they leave the soft parts. And they use the soft part to make the handbags. If you look at the handbags, everything about it is local. Even with the cellophane bag still that they use in, putting the strands together. We have an India company that is training our women to set up low-cost organic manure. You have a farm, you set it up. And how do you produce this organic manure? From food waste and agricultural waste. That's it. So you can see that it's also bridging unemployment. You can have a woman who has a farm. The sons will begin to manage the organic plants. And as you produce, you use it on your farm and you can sell. This is how it comes out, you know. And aside from this, if you produce the organic manure, you also have about 4 hours cooking gas. So if you have a restaurant or a buka around your farm, you have something to cook with. We also have charcoal, which is one of our products too. The charcoal is made out of agricultural waste. The sugarcane bark. If you go to some parts in the north where they harvest sugarcane, when they are bringing it out to town to sell, they scrape the bark. You just pack the bark and leave waste and burn. By the time you go through the process, you produce charcoal like this. This charcoal does not give you, doesn't emit gas, carbon. You can burn this charcoal inside your house and it's not causing any harm to your respiratory organ. And when you finish